Hello, real estate people. Today I wanted to talk with you about measuring and ordering kitchen cabinets for your rental. Now, a lot of this is going to apply whether it's a rental or your personal home, but there are some differences, and that's what I want to kind of focus on today. So, as far as type of cabinets, I like cabinets like these. These are wood stained cabinets as opposed to the thermofoil cabinets that most of the big box stores carry. So, thermofoil, if you don't know what it is, it's an MDF covered with a coating or a wrap. I just don't think they're as durable, and thermofoil is not a good substrate for paint. So in 15 or 20 years, you want to paint your cabinets, wood's going to be a much better substrate for that. So that's why I would stick with wood. It's not that much more as opposed to the thermofoil. Now, one big difference for rental properties as opposed to your building your dream kitchen is we want to buy stock cabinets. We don't have 3 months to wait for cabinets when we're doing an apartment turn. So always buy stock cabinets. And by stock, I mean they're the ones that's on the shelf at the store, or they have them at a nearby store, or they have them in their warehouse and can ship it to the store. You do not want a special order from manufacturer because you got to get these apartments turned, and there's just not time to wait on that and lose a bunch of money on your rent. Another thing to consider is your flooring and whether you're going to try to use the existing floor, or you're going to put a new floor down. So, for example, if you're going to reuse the existing floor, does it go all the way under your cabinets, or is it just go around your cabinets? So then you got to think about, can I get a larger footprint so I can cut it down, or can I buy some flooring so I can fill in those gaps that are left around it? Another thing to consider if you're putting in new floor, and this is not really for the measuring and ordering, but if I'm putting in new floor, if it's like a hardwood or a tile, I would probably put that in before I put the cabinets down. Now, if it's a floating floor, I would put that in after the cabinets because I don't want all the weight of that floating floor sitting on top of my flooring. Another thing to think about is where you have areas to move, because you always can't get the same footprint. So you got to think about where you can move. So here I could move in, no problem. And, I could move out a little bit. You never want to go all the way to the edge because your walls are not always straight. So look at where you can move and measure out the walls when you're measuring. Also think about where your electric plug for your stove or your gas line comes out. So mine's in the center so I have some room to move this a little bit each way if I can't get the exact cabinet sizes, dimensions that I need, so I can move things around. So you also need to think about your countertops. Like this, we're not going to save this countertop, but most of the time in a rental you're going to replace the countertops anyhow when you're doing cabinets. But think about that too as well. And your plumbing. So here our water line comes in, there's our drain line comes in, and we're going to move this sink over. So what I did was I ordered what's called a blind corner. It's just basically an open box instead of a lazy Susan. So that will give me plenty of room to move those lines around without tearing out the wall and doing a bunch of work. And then I can get my sink put in over here pretty easily. Also think about the plug for your refrigerator and your water hookup for your ice maker. Now ours is in the center, so we can have pretty much room to move either way. Over here on this end, we have a lot of flexibility with where we can move the cabinets if we need to go a foot or so further, whatever we need to do there. Now, so you want to put down all these measurements, and sorry I bled a little bit earlier, I cut myself, but you want to put all these measurements like where your stove plug is, your gas line, where your water lines are, how long your walls are, all that on a piece of paper, because like I said, you may not be able to get the exact size cabinets or the exact size footprint. So you want to be able to adjust and make sure you're not going to cause yourself a bunch of work and have to move plumbing lines and electric lines and all that stuff. So take this detailed drawing, take it to your home center, go back to the cabinet design area, and they can very quickly enter all this data into the computer, and within about 15 minutes they can render you a drawing. Here's a drawing of what your cabinets would look like after they're installed. And they also include diagrams that help you with the installation. So all the measurements and which cabinets go where, all that good stuff. Now we had to do this 3 different times because the issue was when we would do the design, then they would move it over the system so we could buy it. There would be cabinets that weren't in stock at the warehouse or at a nearby store or whatever. So we have to go back to design and change the sizes, maybe go from a 28 to a 30 or whatever, 24 to a 30, move things around, all that stuff. So that's why it's important to have your diagram and all those measurements before you go, so you know what you can move. So anyhow, that's it. I hope this helps. And if you like this kind of content, please be sure to subscribe. And thanks for watching.